They'll be calling you a radical. Kevin Blanch, we've got some breaking news on Fukushima. This is a big story. You might not think it's a big story, and I'll tell you why it's a big story. They're admitting that their dog and pony fake decontamination bullshit is not working again. And I want people, all you deniers, you Fukushima deniers, I mean, we're just relying on pure logic. Of course, we don't have hard data from anyone. I mean, of course, we don't have anything. That's the whole thing. We have to rely on logic. We have to rely on what our eyes see. We have to rely on the reality of the situation because nobody's telling us anything. I mean, so we do what we do. I mean, let's get real. We have to rely on pure logic. The things blew up. Quadruple meltdowns, 3 full-blown out freaking meltdowns for going on 1,300 days. Now let's get real. Any of you so-called Fukushima, let's get reality. 1,295 days, 97 I believe. Dumping into the, now think about this. Okay, so you got nuclear fission, China syndrome, going on in 3 reactors, hardcore full-blown out meltdowns. TEPCO's words, everybody's words, that's the only thing they do admit. It took them a year and a half to even admit that. I reported on day 1. And I want people to understand and realize this too. My vlog, my videos, I want people to really understand this. That I was given 2 months to live 35 months ago in a bone marrow transplant center with a very hardcore radical cancer in my body that is almost impossible to survive. I want people to understand and know so much of this vlog, so much of my activism hasn't been me trying to survive in life. Oh, hello. Scared for, I mean, I didn't want to die. I've been fighting my ass off to stay alive. I've walked from Mexico up to past almost LA and back on the beach twice. You know, my videos, there's a new report, dead fish at Pismo. I stood right on that pier on July the 4th, honeybee. I've been up and down the coast. I've documented it. I've looked at it. Everybody agrees with me. The fishermen agree, everybody. I mean, what we see, we're just relying on what our eyes see. What is the reality of the situation? Now, they'll argue, the marine biologists down here say, yeah, the Pacific Ocean is dying. The creatures inside the Pacific Ocean are dying. They'll agree with you. Any marine biologist up and down will tell you exactly that. They may argue on the causation. They'll tell you in California that it is the toxin plume. Well, what's causing the toxin plume? They'll tell you it's the over-fertilization going, which there's no doubt. That's a big, there's no doubt. I mean, as far as the surfers, I know so many of the good surfers. You know, I know so many. They left a long time ago. Long before Fukushima ever happened. You go on, 20 years ago, I quit going into that ocean. Chicken skin, about 20 years ago, the big toilet, what they're doing. But let's get real. Let's get real. They're saying right here, now come on, now let's think about this. I want you to logically think about this in a reality, in a situation. I got a so-called, they do what they call the heavy ketchup test on me. Okay, which hurts. They go in through your hip. They're bone marrow biopsies. My whole path, you know, and I've never declared myself cured. I'm surely not cured now. I was so sick, and I went through the ARC M squared, M squared. I was so radically full of cancer. It's going to give you leukemia. It's going to give you leukemia. It's going to give you leukemia. 7 months later, I thought I had a stomach ache. It was violent, right? I mean, it was violent. I went from 173rd, bad doctor after 30 days. In that 30-day period of the misdiagnosis and quacks order, I was all but dead. Finally, I got sick, and I went in. The whole path, the type of disease that I ended up finally getting properly diagnosed 30 days later is almost, it's almost a locked death sentence. I knew that. I was fading away, and I just intensely, radically fought back hardcore. So much of my activism, so much of my gig has been me trying to stay alive and showing the playbook that maybe others can stay alive. And I've relied on logic. I've relied on reality. I've never said this was going to kill all humanity. I said it's going to kill millions of cancer, which it has, which we know cancer rates are spiking post-Fukushima. But let's talk about the reality in detail. This report right here says, now you know I presented those reports that say the international study, right here, read it. Multiple freaking things. Not my words. These are not my words. These are the multiple university study. 25 miles out off the coast of Fukushima, June 2011. 300 meters down in the water column. Our 3 sample sets. 1, 3 times the background study. 2, that's enough to scare the bejesus out of you. 2, 50. 3, 1,000 times. In the abstract. I'm the one that reported before they even wrote the conclusion. It got leaked to me. In the conclusion, we conclude that the Fukushima radiation fallout is already into the eastward current. June 2011. We know in factual detail that the wind was blowing out the first 6 days, and they made the decision to dump water on these things. They have no answer. So they dumped water on nuclear fission. Never happened in the history of mankind. Never even happened in Chernobyl. And Chernobyl used 580,000 men to entomb it. Watch The Battle for Chernobyl. It's a brilliant documentary. That's just fact. So they dumped water on it, and their answers to the tanks make you think they're trying to catch it. They've caught, what, about 1,000 tanks now they've got built. Less than 1,000. And they've caught some, but the tanks have been leaking. And you do the math on the tank. So the water, and this, I listened to the investigations on 12-12-12. Have Mikado freaking translating for me. On 12-12-12, they admitted that they started dumping the water off the cooling of these reactors instead of letting it go up into the plume, into the atmosphere, going down. Now, there's ENA News is reporting a new study that comes out that shows these giant ratings in the early days in Florida. Of course, it doesn't take long, the jet stream. It doesn't take long. You know, the wind was blowing out those first 6 days. The currents move left to right. So they admit, TEPCO the words over and over and over and over and over and over, admit that they've been dumping into the Pacific Ocean the entire time. The entire time. This is plutonium, 239, 240. These are all these heavy, heavy chemicals have been dumping in. Now, I was a freaking expert on nuclear fallout and radiation long before my PhD. I was trying to prove autism to leukemia here in Utah, you know, and eat, sleep, drink it. Oh yeah, my head of the atomic veterans, my death of my father, all of this. Now I literally sleep with it. I've been fighting for my life. I finally, the heavy test for the first time, they've been dramatically low. I've been out all this activism doing, you know, against some doctors, but I had some doctors who says, you go. Now, the playbook has always been the heavy RFC, M squared, then a bone marrow transplant. I didn't have a bone marrow transplant. I've not even had one drug in me, not even an aspirin over 2 years. It's been incredible. I've done it through my activism. Through my intense fight. I've done it through activism, fighting for the truth. For we must rise up like a phoenix, a flock of environmentalist phoenix. We must rise up. As I hear the voices of my great-granddaughter. Oh boy, was that powerful. I hear the voices of my great-granddaughters. I really do. I do. And those people who do not defend the mighty Blue Mother herself, oh, I defend her. For those who defend her, she watch over us. She will defend us. All these days of this being dumped into the Pacific Ocean, let's use logic. Let's have some reality here. The only thing being controlled about Fukushima is us. That's Christina Radchick said that how long ago? So let's just use logic, because nobody's going to tell us anything. I mean, the marine biologists, everything, they're just sucking up money for nothing, and your chicks for free. Oh boy. You know, tourism economy, it's the same reason Utah will not talk about the most nuclear contaminated place on the face of the earth, southern Utah. And the rate of leukemia there is off. The rate of cancers in southern Utah is so ridiculous. Like, Moab, let's go hiking, tourism economy, let's go swimming in Lake Powell. Anybody go swimming in Lake Powell? Oh my God, talk about a toilet. Wow. And here in southern Utah, I mean, I can prove it. I can prove everything I say. I can absolutely 100% back it up and prove it. You know, we have to be tough. We have to be strong. We have to stand up for what's around. I'm a very real activist. Always have been. Always have been. I'm balcone out. Literally. Literally. I'm the real thing. You know, I'm an effective activist. I'm not some YouTube vlogger. Oh no. Oh no. That's not me. I'm an activist who gets results. I got the cows kicked out of an energy solution dump site. By the way, there's been a criminal investigation finally launched into the medical incinerator here in Bountiful, which the legendary finance professor Cooley died of mad cow, which they burned there. And the reason Dirty Herbie has launched the investigation is he's covering his own ass. Now let's remember, the sitting attorney general in the state of Utah and the post-secretary were arrested by the FBI at their houses and charged with 11 felony counts. Not the state, not the DOJ, the FBI. Dirty Herbie's implicated, so is Mike Lee implicated. This is a big, big story being break that he is opening this investigation up. A very big story. So we'll see how this plays forward. But this is a very big deal. So stay on this. Logic. So you're talking 1,300 days of this pumping in the ocean. There's nothing? Please, give me a break. Please. I mean, hello. You think there's no consequences to this? You are one lunatic. You are one maniac. You go to Nile, everybody knows. Talk about the herd of elephants. Oh, those elephants were effective. Oh boy. Logic. You can go to Nile and they're not reporting, so what? Doesn't mean shit. This is the reality. Stand tuned.